Another feature that is helpful is that when these things clot, the patient is typically recumbent or supine, recumbent or sitting, and therefore it congeals with a clot fluid level. So there's a flat surface. So when we see these flat surfaces, we know that that material must be clot that congealed when the patient was either sitting or recumbent. All right, so let's say you're doing your sonograms today and along comes this patient and you look and you think, geez, is that blood clot retracting or settling into this cyst? But you're not sure. So my advice is, if you can think of a way that retracting clot could make this picture, then by all means, you want a follow-up sonogram. The only argument you must have with yourself is, how long am I willing to wait to get the follow-up sonogram? Now, I'm sure you already have a plan and a phrase that you dictate into dozens of sonographic reports. But the question is, how long are you willing to wait? Would you be willing to wait 3 days? In fact, your answer would be 3 days. That's ridiculous. Why would I even bring the patient back in 3 days? Well, this patient happened to come back 3 days later, and we took another look at her ovarian cyst. And what you can see is that the clot further retracted. My point is, if you are looking at clot, it will change dramatically in a short period of time. A week is more than enough time for you to see a change if what you are looking at is blood clot. On the other hand, if what you are looking at is solid tissue or septations or anything else neoplastic, it will not change over that period of time. I typically ask for a 6-week follow-up. Why? Because when the patient comes back, the lesion will simply be gone, and I can send the patient back to the gynecologist with a report that says normal ovary. Now, let's say that I make the worst possible mistake. That mistake being, I thought it was hemorrhage into a cyst. It was not. It was a neoplasm, and the neoplasm turned out to be malignant. I can practically guarantee you that that 6-week period of time is not the time frame that is going to make the difference as to whether that patient does well or poorly with her ovarian cancer. Now, hemorrhagic cysts are designed to fool you, and they can fool you. So don't think that following my rules, or even myself following my own rules, will always get it right. So it can be very difficult to look at this lesion and know that that is not a septation with a thickening within the septation. But again, my advice is, if you can imagine that this is the result of retracting thrombus, then by all means get a follow-up sonogram. I don't care if it's only 3 days later, 1 week later. If the possibility is that this appearance could be created by retracting clot, by all means get a follow-up sonogram. Again, typically patients with hemorrhagic cysts don't go to the OR, but these 28 patients were in our series. We call 28 of them hemorrhagic cysts. 27 of them turned out to be hemorrhagic cysts for a positive predictive value of 96%. And the one case that wasn't was not a neoplasm. It was an endometrioma with fresh thrombus.